I got this notification to my Yahoo app, and it was talking about the number of hate groups that hit a 20-year high and a definite rise in white supremacy. And I started to skim through the article, and I'm going to read it for you because so you can get a full scope of what they're talking about. And I thought it was very interesting. But one thing that actually really stuck out to me more so than the article itself was the comments. And I'm going to get to that towards the end because I thought it was amazing that I saw this pattern in the comment section. But let me go ahead and get to this article. It says the number of hate groups active in the U.S. rose to its highest level in 2 decades last year, according to an annual survey released Wednesday by the Southern Poverty Law Center. That's a group right there that these white groups, these white hate groups, they hate that group with a passion. Propelled by a rise in extremism, the number of active groups that the civil rights organization labels as espousing hate climbed to 1,020, up from 784 just 4 years previously. From 2017 to 2018, it was up 7%. Now, what was going on in 2017? Trump had just became the official president. He just got inaugurated into office. And amazing, it went up that high around that time. I mean, that's no coincidence. The groups range from white supremacists to black nationalists, neo-Nazis to neo-Confederates. The annual tally, however, is controversial. It gives the same hate label to some conservative church or political groups like the Catholic Family Ministries, listed as a general hate group, or conservative Republicans of Texas, branded anti-gay, as it does to outfits like the KKK or American Nazi Party. Heidi Byrick, director of the SPLC's intelligence project, told USA Today the groups that SPLC considers to be hateful enough to make the survey are reviewed carefully before being added, and that we try to err on the side of caution. The most significant growth over the past 2 years has been in white nationalist organizations, up from 193 to 264, said Byrick, who authored the report. It marks a resurgence in the aftermath of the massive 2017 rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, that focused attention on the movement. Much of the energy of the radical right this year was concentrated in the white supremacist milieu, the report reads. After a lull that followed the violence in Charlottesville, which brought criminal charges and civil suits that temporarily dampened the radical rights activism and organizing, newer groups gathered momentum. All are driven by concern about dwindling white power, as seen by Census Bureau projections that Caucasians will lose their majority by 2044. After a sharp drop-off in the first half of the decade, Byrick said those groups had been driven underground. They revived as the 2016 election approached. There you go. Though the U.S. no longer has an African-American president, hate groups became motivated by what they saw as too slow progress toward their goals, such as 45 being stymied in his goal of building a wall along the Mexican border. Just last week, Trump declared a national emergency in order to try to build the wall without approval of Congress. Interestingly, the report says the Klan appears to be in decline. The group, despite a history that stretches back more than a century, has been marked by infighting and difficulty connecting to a younger generation. The KKK has not been able to appeal to younger races. With its antiquated traditions, odd dress, and lack of digital savvy, younger extremists prefer polo shirts and khakis to Klan robes. But the report also points out that there is no shortage of hate-filled alternatives, whether they are neo-Nazis, racist skinheads, or others who direct their anger at immigrants, lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender individuals, Muslims, or others. Now, this part right here was interesting. Black nationalist groups, often described as anti-Semitic, hostile to lesbians, gay, and transgender people, and anti-white, have picked up steam. They have been driven by events like the outcry around NFL players taking a knee during the playing of the national anthem and hot rhetoric from controversial figures like Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan. But these groups can be very, very fringe, and they don't produce the violence that white supremacy does. Exactly. I'm surprised they didn't try to throw that BIE thing on there, that black identity extremists, but I guess that's all lumped up into one. Now, it's amazing that they say black nationalists, and our stuff usually doesn't go beyond rhetoric that's pushed upon us from other people, but it's not like them white nationalist groups who actually go out and do physical harm to others, like what happened in Charlottesville. But they just had to have a black so-called equivalent. And I can't even call it an equivalent because there's no way that they're equal, but they had to throw them on the list. I guess that was their form of having diversity. At least one of the outfits added to the SPLC list didn't seem to mind. A leader of the American Freedom Party, a New York-based group that says on its website that the core European American population is being overwhelmed by tens of millions of legal and illegal immigrants, was pleased. I am flattered, Chairman William Johnson told USA Today. It really helps elevate our reputation. When the party is lumped with groups close to the mainstream supporting Trump and those linked to Catholicism, he said the list is so broad that it becomes meaningless. I don't know any organization that says I'm a hate group, I'm a love group, Johnson said. He said the American Freedom Party has nationalists of many stripes and races among its members, and that white people are becoming comfortable with being proud of their heritage. Now, the interesting thing apart to me with the comment section, and I read through some of the comments, was a common pattern that I saw, and I could tell just by the tone of the comment in the text what demographic wrote it. So I kept seeing a repeated pattern of the media is doing this. It's the media. It's the media. It's the media. That lets me know it was white people that was doing that. My thing is this: did the media make these individuals join these groups? Did the media make these people go out and say these racist things or troll people on the internet? Did the media make these people go to Charlottesville and cause that riot that ended up injuring many people and killing one? See, it's amazing how they love to blame the media for every single thing that they do within will. Meaning they use their mind, or the lack of it, to go out and do these things. You can't blame the media for that. Because if that's the case, then every other group would be able to use that as a crutch. And they can't. I know for damn sure we can't. But they love to say, oh, the media did this, the media did that. Like, I'll give you an example. This person said, thanks media. Hold on. They said, thanks media. You are the number one reason for this. That in politics. Wonderful world you're making. Hope those profits are worth it. Someone else said the media is not helping. Let's see here. And I even saw someone say, nice headline, but Antifa and Black Lives Matter have just as much right to be in the headline. See, it's that whole deflection thing. Here's the thing though. I'm not a fan of Black Lives Matter, but who have they gone out there and physically harmed and or killed? It's a whole deflection thing with them. The media didn't go out there and tell you to kill anybody. You did that on your own. The people in Black Lives Matter didn't tell you to go out and do anything or anything like that, because if that's the case, then Black Lives Matter would have done some harming to a lot of other people, and they wouldn't have had the luxury of blaming the media for their actions. They love to tell us that we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and all of this, that, and the third. They don't even have no boots or no bootstraps to pull up. Just a bunch of walking, mindless, hypocritical drones. And then try to tell us that, try to put us in check. They don't even have their house in order. That's why I don't like when people say, well, see, white people, they're on code and they're doing this and doing that. Trust me, they're not as a unit as many people would like to believe. A lot of them is a very fractured group. They love to put on the front, but they're very fractured. You can look through various comment sections on many sites and you can see that. Let's see here. And it's amazing too, because now also they're writing comments and whatnot, mentioning Jussie Smollett's name. Like I said, he needs to get whatever he has coming to him, but don't even try to use him as a reason as to this, because guess what? Before all that stuff went down with him, this was still going on, and guess what? When all of this stuff with him blows over, it'll still be going on. So y'all can't even use him as a crutch. Nice try though. But y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one.